gonna be a great time. I'm very excited, actually. I'm very excited to talk about this book because this book had me going. Just trying to work out the audio balances here before we get started. Oh, you can hear. I didn't think you'd be able to hear the. I didn't think you'd be able to hear the car. And so now you just know that I was honking back at a car. It's great. I am a dork of a human being, and it's great. It's absolutely fantastic, really. Yeah. Let's just kind of like give this next song like a second to kind of start. Make sure that that's not going to sound significantly louder. And then we'll go ahead and get on start. I'm very excited. I'm gonna post it, maybe not today, but at some point I shall post it. I made a new cover, like lock screen and home screen for my tablet, and they're both very, very cute. Big fans. Give y'all a sneak peek. No. Let's go ahead and give y'all a sneak peek. Oh, broke it. We broke it. That's not helpful. That was not helpful at all. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Look at me. It's so cute. It's so cute. It says Vivo en mis sueños. We love it. We love it. Cool. So this book. Pull up my notes so that way we can all be on the same page with when I share some quotes, which I'll be sharing some quotes from this here book. That's exciting. Just gonna open my notes. Cool. So, Dusk by Bo Van Dalen. This book is about a young trans boy who is a warlock. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that's pretty much all I can tell you without spoilers, because so much shit happens from the jump in this book. I like peak amounts of stress when I was reading this book. Literally, like the first maybe like 5 chapters, I'm just sitting here anxious. I'm so stressed. So there's pretty much no real way to talk about this book without spoilers, but I do spoilery reviews anyway, so it's fine. So with that warning, so at the beginning of the book, we see that our main character Indigo lives in this town in which that's very strict in the gender norms. Women do healing magic and men do the more adventure-y, I don't think that's not the word, but like they do like, because I think, is it all dark magic or is that just specifically the type of magic that the men do? I'm not 100% sure, but that's like, they do like actual spells, non-magical spells basically, like, or non-healing spells. So they do, I think it's dark magic. They do, like, they transform the things around them. They do fighting magic. They create living beings as their familiars and whatnot. So that's that's this situation, right? I hate the YouTube quality buttons now. It's so crisp. So yeah, and obviously our main character is hiding the fact that they are trans until, again, from the jump, a mass of human soldiers come to their town, and there's been like a war going on between humans and warlocks for a while, and this mass of humans comes in while most of the men that are able to fight and able to do magic are either away at this magic school or at war. And so it was like a sneak attack, a low blow, like really it's basically a war crime. And Indigo, like literally no one else is willing to try and do anything to try and save them. So Indigo reveals himself to be he stole this book of forbidden magic, which I'm be honest, it seems like it seems like in this world there's absolutely zero security on books of forbidden magic, like less than none. So he steals this book of forbidden magic, and like he's been for years practicing magic. In a last-ditch effort to try and save his town, he uses that magic against these human soldiers, but still the bigots in his town turn on him, including his own family. He casts a spell to put them in like a time sleep kind of thing. Like they're frozen in time, and they're just frozen there and they can't do anything. And he is like completely he does that, grabs some of his stuff and escapes the town, and then eventually he goes off to join this school undercover, and he has to try and keep a low profile because, you know, he did, like, even though it was to save the people, he is a trans kid, which is not allowed, and he did a bunch of magic, which is not allowed, and then he technically like assaulted this whole town, and that didn't turn out well, which is also not allowed. So people are on the lookout for him, but he joins this school, this magic school, to learn how to be a better, I don't think it'd be like just better warlock. We're just gonna go with better warlock. And in the process, he meets this guy named Art, who is extremely privileged, like rich family, literally has most of like a bunch of answers and information about like anything going on in the school given to him ahead of time. So he has that leg up over almost any other student, but he does tell all of this information to Indigo. They, like a couple days, I want to say, into school, the headmaster is like, hey, I am going to have a competition for the students where you have to, like, I'm not going to tell you what the competition is. You're going to find out on the day, but like obviously all the rich and privileged kids already know. And he's just like, whoever wins this competition is going to get the chance to go to an extremely fancy dinner with me and with this other really important teacher at the school. And that's the prize. And the reason why Indigo is super into it is he's like, I want to prove that I am like the best person here, that I deserve to be here. And also if I can get to a certain level of prestige in the school, if they love me enough, then they might like send me off to war early, and I can get out of this town and not be so close to the scene of the crimes. And so, like, because if it were me, having a sit down dinner with two teachers sounds like truly the least interesting, least appealing option you could have given me. But it's his choice. So he goes, Art tells him what the challenge is, which is to create a familiar, gives him some hints, they work on it. And those two, instead of having one winner, the headmaster was like, I'm going to have 2 winners so that my son, who is not great at magic, can have a chance at getting the prize, because we all know Art's going to get first. But, you know, he thought. So Indigo and Art win this prize, go back to school, and so this whole time, Indigo's been taking this potion to help him physically transform into a man that, like, can go by unnoticed in the school. But the potion that he's been using has been poisoning him. And so, like, slowly he is just dying. He's not doing well from this potion. And it eventually gets to the point where he is almost at death's door, and Art finds him, and it's like he can't keep taking these potions, otherwise he will die. But if you know, he's outed to the school, and they would probably kill him. So they make a plan to run away, and that's kind of the bare bones of it. There's one second. Okay. Now that the earth is done falling apart. That was fun. That was super, super fun. We love that for me. Where was I? I was just talking about how you had the characters, Snot-Nosed Kid, the shadowy figure, and the necromancer. And the shadowy figure is the one that is meeting with the dean. And it's interesting that even though I had guessed several, like, about the identities of these characters, it still very much threw me for a loop, because I had thought that Luther, the kid, the son, and the shadowy figure meeting with the dean were the same person, but I did not think, like, and there was another point in which I was like, the necromancer is the shadowy figure, but I didn't think that, like, all 3 were the same one human being described as 3 completely separate characters. So it was interesting how like I still was putting it together, but I didn't, like, the book still kept me going about who, like, about the whole of their identity. And, like, there's, like, this particular character is a major character in the sense that, like, their his fiance was in the town that Indigo attacks, and he wants revenge. His father, I'm gonna be honest, his father sucks. His father is quite the asshole to him. Like, he hits his son several times. Like, I don't like him. I don't like Luther either. But also, there is a point where his father's like, his father's like, we can just get you a new fiance. It's not like she was the only one around. And honestly, that would have been my villain, like, that man would have been my villain origin story too. So I get it. But also, God, he's so fucking annoying. He's so annoying as a character. And, like, that's what the author was going for. And he did it well, because, oh my God, I can't stand Luther. Like, even, like, before we get to the, like, hit points where he's, like, actually just a vile, disgusting, terrible human being, he's just so fucking annoying, and I can't stand him. let's see, what was throughout this entire book and in my notes, you will see there's several times where I don't know if you've seen that like TikTok of the like, do you feel bonita? And like someone's getting ready to like, beat you with a chancla. Yeah, no, basically that, where Art is very much flirting with Indigo, and I'm just sitting here, and like Indigo's brushing him off, and it's like he's just trying to soften me up as a competition, and I'm sitting here like, Indigo, I will beat your ass if you do not let this man love you. I will actually fight you if you refuse to allow yourself to be loved by so head over heels. And it's definitely, where is it? Where was I doing that? Where'd I go? Here it is. What page is this? 13. Like right here. This top right, where it says, since we're friends now, Art averts his gaze. He traps his lower lip between his teeth. Kadai, Indigo shrugs Art's hand off his cloak. I don't make friends, Art. Indigo, I swear to God. I swear to God, do not make this difficult for both of us, okay? Let him love you. That was me most of this book. I also have, like, you know, the whole cutlery set from Beauty and the Beast, trying to set people up. Again, just off to the left, Indigo, I'm gonna beat your ass again. Because he's, like, just talking about Art as if he, like, doesn't care about any, like, here's the line. Just tell me what I can do for you as a favor. Mister, I already have it all so that I can be on my way so you'll stop being in my face all the time. Art just wants to be around you. Stop pushing him away or I will fight you, Indigo. There's also another character of, like, this character Faye, who is half human, half warlock, who is, her father was one of the soldiers that she didn't realize Indigo had killed, but her father's one of those soldiers. He's dead now, and like her father had like left her living in the woods pretty much by herself, and now like she has nowhere to go, nowhere to do, so she's gonna try and find her mom. Finds her mom. That doesn't go well. And now she's off adventuring. And that's her storyline. But she does, like, give me constant anxiety. Because I say it in my notes. She is just so... higher up, what page are we on? Right here, where not only do I predict who the mother is, but also throughout the entire time, this character is so hell-bent on finding her mom, and she's so convinced that her mom is going to love and accept her no matter what, and she's just so jumpy to try and find her mom, reconnect with her mom. And after seeing what happens with Indigo at the beginning of the book, she keeps me stressed. This character keeps me so stressed because it is like a mix of naivete and ignorance that makes her think like it's gonna be different for me. My mom's gonna accept me because I'm her daughter. Why, like that, and her utter impatience had me so stressed for her entire existence. The entire book that she was in. She came in probably around like the second third of the book. Had me stressed for dear life for this child. What's some other really... Honestly, so many of my notes are just goofy. Like, where's this one? Where's the note? What page is this? 6. Okay, so I don't want you to see it yet. Okay, so it's gonna be on the top right when I scroll, but I'm gonna read it first, and then when I get to like my obnoxiousness in the notes, I'll show you the quote that I have with it. So you have this character, Alice, who is a healer from Indigo's town, saying, "One day, Indigo," Alice huffs. She rests her hands against her hips. "I'm going to lead a rebellion for all those who are oppressed in our history, and I will be the face of that revolution. On the day where we'll take back the power that was stolen from us." And I'm just sitting here like, not Eric Killmonger. Okay, notes and like comments, thoughts on the book. I thought the book was extremely interesting. I am dying for book 2, which I may or may not be coming out late this year, like winter this year, if not sometime next year. I'm not gonna lie, I own most of this author's bibliographies, so I've got stuff to do while I wait. But yeah, absolutely super intrigued to see what's gonna happen with this book. I one of like the like odd things in the book that I like just don't know how to mentally process is some of the grown men in this book are so fucking creepy, but it means nothing. Like, you have the teacher that goes with the dean and the students to dinner saying, "We're aiming to create a world where you may all fight as freely as you wish, simply not in ways that are prone to damaging your promising little bodies." Like, that's gross. That's gross. And it's like these teachers are super creepy, and I don't we'll never know why. I loved the character of Indigo. I loved how his like mental process was written. There's like a part of it that I keep gushing about whenever I get the chance. Is there is this scene where Indigo is trying to get the materials to continue like making this potion that he needs to keep up his body, and part of that is like he needs human flesh, and there's a scene where he is considering killing these 2 kids, and honestly, if he had just killed them, let's go, do you, boo, I'd have been fine with it. But the way the author wrote the mental distress he was under and the like indecision on like what he was going to do, it was so intense. The writing of that was so vibrant. I don't know if that's the proper word for it, but that's the word I got. It was so vibrant. I genuinely felt nauseous while I was reading this, and if he hadn't, I honestly might have thrown up. Because the writing of that and the writing of what he was going through mentally in that scene was just so good. I think really the only issue I had with the writing was towards the end of the book, when Indigo and Art actually finally fucking get together. The voice of the story changes relatively aggressively. Like, for the most part, all the characters speak in a pretty modern tone of voice and like in a pretty modern dialect, but then it suddenly gets super like Arthurian. I had a better word for it in my actual notes. Also, for the record, I just saw this in my notes. It turned The Princess Bride. That's what I compared the voice shift. It shifts from your average contemporary story to people speaking like they're in The Princess Bride. And that definitely was something that took getting used to. That definitely was jarring to read. But otherwise, think the writing was so fantastic. Like, even in these scenes, I was still laughing my ass off. I was still in fucking tears. I was still stressed. That's the one thing that, like, throughout the whole book, I was stressed. But yeah, this was a really, really, like, I loved the book. I loved the character of Indigo. The way I was vying, like, this book had me being like, maybe I don't dislike romance. Maybe I just actually love love. And, like, I wouldn't say I dislike romance. I dislike a lot of the romances I grew up around, and I just liked a lot of the way romance was shoehorned into stories I grew up around. But, like, at this point in time, I, like, literally was foaming at the mouth when I was reading this book and watching them get together, and I was crying. I was doing this. This was the book I was reading for the Trans Lights readathon, and I was screaming. I was yelling with this book. I was so happy about it. I was just off the charts. Fucking Perry the Platypus freaking out because watching these two finally get together, and I was just not okay. And I'm glad. I was very, very satisfied with the book. Very, very happy. So glad I read it. So glad to have found this author. I have most of his books now, and I'm also on his ARC team. So if that's any indication of how I feel about this author's writing, there you go. Will probably, like, I'd like to read at least, I'm probably gonna read at least one other book this year of his, because I'm on the ARC team. I'm on his ARC and Street team. But would like to read, like, one other book too. But yeah, that is basically all that's basically all I have to say at this point about the book. 1001, like, again, I'm so excited. I'm so curious about what's going to be happening next, because I honestly I'm confused, but, like, in a good way. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what the goal is of anyone. Indigo's, like, on death's door, and I just want to know if he's okay. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this book. I will probably try and spend a little time merging these two videos so that way it's one video. But that's about all from me. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, valedictions, friends.